Let's talk about jumping off the porch. Jumped off the porch. Jumped off the porch. You in the game. You making your own money. You understand? Jumping off the porch. Usually referred to as a street term. Person is jumping off the porch. They hitting the block. They moving whatever they moving. Making whatever they making. But jumping off the porch is anything that you start that's entrepreneurial. Let's apply it that way. You jumping off the porch. One of the biggest mistakes you can make, particularly in the underworld, when you jumping off the porch is you leave the front door wide open. One of the main mistakes you can make, universally speaking even, one of the biggest mistakes you can make jumping off the porch is to leave the front door wide open. And there's a few ways that you leave the front door wide open. One is bad press. We're in a sensitive time now where bad press doesn't work as well. It'll put you in front of just as many people, but things being so polarized, you may find yourself more boxed in than expanded if your image is just put out there for better or worse. You're jumping off the porch, but the front door is open. Someone's able to come into the place or space where you're bringing in all your winnings. For somebody, this is their ego. Their ego is their house. So their front door is left open if they're not learning certain levels of social etiquette. You'll have a rapper who can out rhyme everybody, but can't do an interview. Well, how are you not loquacious in one thing and simultaneously the other? You're already functioning as poet and orator and storyteller and MC. Take these same principles that you take to the studio and bring it to the interviewer. Be an artist when you get on the radio show, when you're being interviewed and asked questions. Express yourself artistically. Don't make it where art is just something you do. Don't leave the front door open when you jump off the porch. Close and lock the front door. How do you do that? Proverbially speaking, you allow what you represent to be worn on your character. If your rhymes are serious and you're goofy and giddy all the time outside of the studio, there may be a disconnect possibly between your artwork and who you are, and this can be conflicting images that can damage your brand. Jumping off the porch with the front door left wide open instead of closed and locked. Another way you do this is having the wrong people on your team. You have to also be discerning. Your house, in this instance, can be your business. You have a business, but if your personnel is not good, your business is going to suffer. The front door leads to your business. That's the lobby. That's where you're talking to the clerk. That's where you used to go in and get an application, but now that's where you get told to go back home and go online or jump on your smartphone and apply. The front door is leading into your business, just like the front door can lead into a person's ego. You can jump off the porch, but that whole idea of jumping can sometimes be spiritually synonymous with rushing, and you don't want to rush into something. What does the scripture say? Hurry and scurry leaves you further behind, because it takes more time to clean up mistakes that you made quickly than it is to take your time and get it right the first time. It takes more time to clean up your mistakes that you spent no time committing than it does to just walk very circumspectly and get things right the very first time. You don't have anything stopping your momentum. You don't have to backtrack. You don't have to backtrack and check personnel. You don't have to backtrack any words that you said in a time of emotional compromise where your ego was bruised and you responded less optimally. See, you jumped off the porch. You jumped off the porch, first of all. Well, were you late for work? Were you getting ready to miss the bus? Jumping off the porch. No, you don't have to jump off the porch to be a hustler. You don't have to jump off the porch to be a business person. You don't have to jump off the porch to be about your money. You don't have to jump off the porch to be resourceful. Just step off the porch. Walk off the porch. You don't have to jump. Make sure you have everything before you leave the house. Treat it like those old school doors that will automatically lock when they close behind you. Make sure you have everything, because if you have to go back to the house, you can be late for work. That might be an extra 10 minutes that you needed to get there. Take your time and save your time. That's jumping off the porch, but leaving the house that you're hustling for secured.